everybody. Welcome to Kraken Studios. We are doing a stream today of Baldur's Gate 3 from Larian Studios with the early access. I'm going to go through and do a character creation video. Probably just that, and then we'll come back tomorrow to actually delve into the game. As you can see here, just got a splash screen. Gonna do a new game. I hope you guys could hear me. I'll watch this. Actually, you know what? Let's cancel that.
Who are you?
Here we are on character creation. Here on the left, you have a few details. There's your name, your race, class, subclass, deity. Deity, of course, and subclass having to do with this being a cleric. You got your abilities listed, your proficiencies, and your cantrips. We start off on the Origin tab right here. On the right, you'll see you have your selection of male and female. As of right now, you can only go custom on the early access. These are apparently the other characters that you have available in the game. And, you know, just a little blurb. Now we are going to start by changing our name, which I think I've decided I wanted to go with Rastana. It's a good, strong name. And below that we have our backgrounds. Now, I already have a specific one I'm looking for, but I'll go through them really quickly, all the same. You have your Acolyte. Basically, you know, you've been performing with the church for all your life. You got Insight and Religion proficiencies from that. The Charlatan, you know, Shuckster. Expert in Manipulation, prone to exaggeration, more than happy to profit from it. Deception, Sleight of Hand. Criminal will give you Deception and Stealth. Entertainer is Acrobatics and Performance. Folk Hero is Animal Handling and Survival. Guild Artisan is Insight and Persuasion. That was one I was thinking about getting. And that just means that you're a gilded, like, cooper or jeweler, or, you know, you have a job that is, you know, handled by a guild. Now, in actual D&D, the tabletop, it's a little different. I want to say they have persuasion proficiency, but you get a tool proficiency as well pertaining to your given profession. Noble, raised in a high family. You were raised in a family among the social elite. Okay. History and Persuasion, this is what we're going with. Probably get into that on another video. Just go through the rest of these. Medicine and Religion for a Hermit, you know, Isolation, all that good stuff. Outlander, you know, Nomad. Athletics and Survival. Sage, Sage Advice, right? Arcana and History, and this was another one I thought about, but we're not going to take it. A Sailor, Athletics and Perception. Soldier, Athletics and Intimidation. And of course, Urchin, Sleight of Hand Proficiency and Stealth. And then you roll that to Acolyte. So we're just going to scroll through and pick up Noble here. We will go over to Race. Now I am going to play a half-elf. And while originally I wanted to do a wood elf, we are going to do a high half-elf. The reason I want to do that is because they get a cantrip, and I have a feeling that I can make use of Mage Hand with my build. So we'll go through and we'll select that. Underneath that, you have 2 abilities that you can improve by 1 as a half-elf, outside of your Charisma getting a +2 bonus. Really and truthfully, Why is my deck so low? I guess it just kind of rolled it out. I'll probably come back here and mess with that as I get towards the end and adjust my abilities. But the charisma is a big deal. I'm assuming dark vision is quite useful in the game as well. And I believe that's it for there. Now you can go through and you can pick a half elf. You'll have a sub race there. High half elf, they have a little bit more intelligence. And you have your wood elf who has more wisdom. Cool thing about wood elves, they get a little more speed, and that's something I like. And they get stealth for free. Didn't know that. Tiefling, demon blood race, charisma and intelligence, hellish resistance, resistance to fire, dark vision, and a cantrip that is determined by your subrace. You have Asmodeus and Mistopheles. Everything's pretty much the same except for the cantrips as far as I can tell there. And then of course Zariel. Zariels are a little different. They get strength instead of int. Otherwise the same. And they also get thaumaturgy like your Asmodeus. We have the Drow. They are interesting. In the handbook for D&D 5th Ed, all of the elves are classified under one heading. So you have your elf, your drow, your wood elf, all that. Half elf is actually separate. But you know, your elves generally get some kind of a proficiency, and I imagine rapier will probably be useful if you want to build some kind of a finesse build. Short sword is good for piercing. There's a variety of ways to go and a variety of reasons, but these are just some of the abilities that you get. +2 dex, +1 charisma. Dancing lights. This is Lothsworn. I'm not really going to ruin any history on Loth just yet. We'll get into that a little bit as we go. We have Seldrin. They have the same base speed, the Fey ancestry that you get for elves and half-elves. +2 dex, +1 to charisma. Again, rapier, short sword, handbow, and dancing lights. And that's all you get. Human, really straightforward. +1 to all scores. Now the Gith were added. I can't remember what added them, but they weren't in the base handbook. Peerless warriors from the astral plane, known for the legendary silver blades, which they often use to cut, what are they, lifelines? You have a little silver thread coming out of your stomach when you're in the astral plane, traditionally. And red dragon mounts. Yeah, anti-mind flayer and Gith and Githyanki and Githrazi are enemies. Again, base speed and +1, strength +2. Really looks like probably a good class for an Eldritch Knight of some sort. Light armor, medium armor, short sword, blah blah blah. Nothing really interesting there for me. I don't know if maybe you would want to take some kind of a class that doesn't have a proficiency, such as longsword, and then pick the race that would give you proficiency. It kind of seems to be a little bit more useful in a tabletop version. I'll just say that. We have our dwarves. Little short ones. And of course, you have your sub-race, Gold Dwarf. They are the ones from the deep. They, you know, when you think of the dwarves of Middle Earth, they're usually a pretty good example. Resilience, resistance to poison, and advantage on saving throws. +2 con. Battle axe, hand axe, light hammer, warhammer, dark vision. Toughness. Extra 1 hit point a level. You're a little slower. All the short races are slower. And +1 to wisdom. Your shield dwarf. They were the ones backing up the others in Middle Earth. They survived a long fall from grace, surrendering many of their ancient kingdoms in wars with goblins and orcs. Let them have a cynical mindset, yet shield dwarves will endure anything to restore their ancestral homelands. So that's actually more like the ones that were going in and the Lord of the Rings prequels. They get strength +2. Yeah, and the gold is +1 to wisdom. Half elf, I've already shown you that. You know, high wood. And then, of course, the wee halflings. Interesting ability. Lucky. When you roll a 1 for an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, you can re-roll, and you must take that. That's pretty powerful. Even it's powerful enough in a tabletop game, but in a game like this, it would probably be even more because there's no limit. It's just like you roll a 1, hey, roll again. It's pretty amazing. You have Lightfoots. They get +1 charisma. These guys are a little slow, and the Lightfoots get proficiency in stealth. +2 dex for being a halfling. And then you have Strongheart. They get Constitution and Resilience. Advantage on saving throws against poison and poison damage, like a dwarf. And there you have it. You can scroll through and show a little bit more of these models, but really, I like what they've done with them. But I could sit in here all night going through and trying to do like a custom of each one. So we're just gonna go back to half elf. Now that we've navigated away, we do have to go through and reselect everything. So remember that if you get to a certain part and you're scrolling through stuff and you change something and then you click over to another selection, you will have to go through and readjust this. We're going to leave all of that for now. And going to work on our appearance after we somehow got off a female. I want to do a female. Let's hear our voices.
Hells. Something just woke up down here.
A tidy slot, but no rune.
The stone's less worn here.
Hells. Something just woke up down...
A tidy slot, but no rune.
We'll go with the Laura Bailey knockoff, I think. I don't think that's her. Could be wrong. She does work a lot, doesn't she? So for our head, I don't want to go with Dead Eyes, and I don't want to go with Country Bumpkin. We're going to go with that one. Hair. I think we're okay with our skin color. Might see where that goes. Our eyes. We'll do red, and I'll tell you why in a little while. But we can go through with blue or gray. And there are a couple of varieties here and there. The interesting thing with your skin tone is you can actually go purple, which is odd if you're not a drow. Let's see, red. Got a few hairstyles here. That's just what it chose naturally. It was 18. Little must hair. Tight fro. Loose fro. I think I'm gonna go with that one. Big regal. Some poofed bangs. Skip bald. Your classic maiden. There's actually a few of those. That one's kind of interesting too. I might go with that one. So most of these are like, you know, buttoned up styles or just variations on a theme. You got your dreads, there's another set of dreads. Plain Jane. Almost like a French braid there. Top knot. Helga's buns. One big bun. That's kind of neat. Not what I'm going with this character though. Bottom knot. I think that's Pixie, right? So we said it was going to be either this one, which I think lends itself a little better to the Warlock than the other one, which is what we're doing. Yeah, we'll go with that one. And if you want to, you could have a bearded lady. You can get all kinds of beards on your lady. You have your super beards, old man time beards. I noticed this earlier when I was messing around. The physics on the beards get a little wonky when you turn sometimes. There's the Van Dyke. Viking knot. We'll go plain. On the hair color, I'm not sure what color I'd want to go with. I do kind of like that. Something to give the otherworldly feature. Yeah, we'll go with that. Of course, you got your reds, your pinks. We are going to put a tattoo on this one. Got a little, I think that's a Harper symbol. 3 Brens. I think there's a story to go along with it. Some cracking coming out of your eyeball stuff. Wait, what is that? It's probably on the other side of the face. Tribal tattoos. Death mask. That's what we're gonna go with. And we're gonna add a little makeup too. Makeup is pretty much just your eyeshadow in this game. gonna go with 15. Gonna make it black? No. We're gonna leave it black. Alright. And here we are at our class. We have our option of Cleric, Fighter, Ranger, Rogue, Warlock, and Wizard. I'll just run through these real quick. You have a Cleric. They base their spells on domains. So like a life domain, that's healing. Light domain is light, obviously. A lot of times having to do with like holy light or fire or something along those lines. Trickery. Think Loki, for example. And that's it. That's what we've got in pre-release. Now you have your options on deities. And these, I don't know what kind of change they're going to bring. I don't see anything going on with the spells or proficiencies. But these are our classic Faerun deities. Plenty of information on them online. You can look them up. Some of them have some interesting stories. We are not going cleric though. Yep, just like any other game. There's your fighter. That's what you get. Ranger, I wanted to play a Ranger at one point. They did have some interesting things in here. You have a Mage Breaker, basically a Ranger that specifies in killing mages. Pretty cool. Keeper of the Veil. Bounty Hunter was what I went with. And then you have Find Familiar for Beast Tamer. Urban Tracker is like urban version of a Ranger. And then the other ones are Wasteland and just kind of resistances. 11 hit points, it's not bad. Strength, Dex, Light Armor, Medium Armor, Shield, Simple Weapon, and Martial Weapons. So they've got some interesting things. That is one thing on the fighter. You have Strength and Con, all of the armor proficiency, shield proficiency, and martial weapon proficiency. So both those classes will have the martial proficiency, and some decent options on protection as well. The cleric, of course, has simple, shield, medium, and light. Their saving throws are charisma and wisdom, and of course they get spell slots. Here we go. So subclass features are listed at the very bottom. So, some interesting things there. You can check that out. They are primarily domain spells, which you get out of going with a particular domain. Heavy armor proficiency, Disciple of Life means I think you get extra healing. When casting a healing spell, the target regains an additional hit points equal to 2 plus the spell's level. And then healing, or bless and cure wounds. Here's the rogue. You've got some unique actions, such as your sneak attack. Nine hit points, that's 2 less than the ranger. You're proficient in your dex and int saves. Light armor is fine. Simple weapons, hand crossbow, long sword, rapier, and short sword. They become more interesting as they progress. I think second level is where they start to diverge a little bit from a lot of other classes. And I've already said we're going with Warlock, so we're going to take a quick look at Wizard here. Wizards are great. Wizards are amazing at high level. At low level, they're really squishy and their spells just don't have enough punch. But I mean, that's the story of many a D&D game. Protecting the mage is they get up to where they can cast Fireball. Um, so you've got your cantrips. I guess these are first level spells and second level spells. It's interesting they don't give you that option to pick your subclass. In the PHB for D&D, there is a option to choose like conjuration, evocation, something like that as your preferred class, and there are different benefits that go along with it that diverge a lot from what is traditionally thought of as a subclass for a wizard in D&D. There's like spell classes that are not allowed to cast, and then you specialize in another. But they've kind of done away with that. I think there are options, but it's not really in the root anymore. So there's that. I'm going to go Warlock. A Warlock is a character that's bound to a pact, bound by a pact, to a patron. This is some kind of, not quite a deity, but almost otherworldly power. Something with more power than just your average person. We have the Fiend as an option, of course the Fiend of Hell, or we have the Great Old One. The Great Old One, I've been told to, it's far realms, and usually you can associate that with things like Cthulhu, World of Darkness, all kind of stuff like that. It's just very far removed. That's where the plane of Zoriat is connected to, and a lot of other things. And I think that has more to do with esoteric knowledge, generally. I am going to go with the Fiend. They do have a pretty cool ability at some point where they will be able to hurl someone through hell, and I just like the name of that. But it is also quite damaging. On our cantrips, we have Friends. Might not need it since I've got a good charisma, but you never know. It can change things. I think Friends is probably a little more useful than, say, True Strike or Poison Spray. Yeah, these others, I'm really just not feeling. So, the other one is Eldritch Blast. That is one of the longer range attacks available in the game. It looks like they've reduced it for this. It's only 18 meters. But maybe we'll get an option to really crank that up. In the handbook, you can actually go out to, I think, 250 feet. I don't know how many meters that is offhand. I'm not used to that conversion. Arms of Hadar are interesting. I think I want to keep that one. Burning Hands, Charm Person, Command, Expeditious Retreat, Hellish Rebuke, Hex, Protection from Evil and Good, and Witch Bolt. I want to keep Armor of Agathis, I think. It's kind of helpful if you do get ganged up on and you're kind of a ranged user. When something hits you, they'll take some damage. There's only 3 meters range on this. I don't know. I don't think I want to go that route. I'm kind of feeling Expeditious Retreat. Protection from Evil and Good is also pretty decent, depending upon how it's integrated. Witch Bolt seems interesting at first, but it really and truthfully, the main thing about Witch Bolt is if you're in a tabletop game, it makes a lot more sense because there's other stuff that you can be doing besides specific actions during combat, right? In a game like this, I don't think it's going to translate well, but it's a big number, 1d12, and then at the bottom you'll see there each turn you can activate the arc to automatically deal 1d12. So you cast it. It does require concentrate. Yeah, concentration is required. 18 meters, and you just cast it, and then you can keep casting it on following rounds. It does also a little bit of way to kind of cheap out somewhat on a spell slot, because as opposed to casting the spell, you just cast this one, and then you continue to do the damage. So it's probably going to be Expeditious Retreat or Witch Bolt. I think Witch Bolt might provide some interesting kiting opportunities. Now, for some reason, I am not seeing my other cantrip. 10 hit points. We get spell slots. They recharge on a short rest. And they're always at the highest level, which never gets up to like 9th level or anything like that. But still kind of cool. Wisdom and Charisma saving throws. Dark One's Blessing is a little hit point bump whenever we kill something. Now, before we go through and pick our skills, it looks like thought that this cantrip would show up over there, but apparently not. So skills. I decided I wanted to keep Arcana here and take Investigation. I think in games like this, things like Investigation, Perception, Arcana are important just because of what they can help you find, discover, and understand. There will be a variety of checks throughout the game of all types, depending upon what you do and what situation you're in. But I do think that having these proficiencies is a good start. Arcana, History, I'd expect to see at least a few of those around, maybe something very rewarding, who knows. Investigation and Persuasion. So Charisma, Int, Wisdom? Nope, Int, and Int. Wow, okay. Let us adjust our abilities real quick here. We're going to keep our Charisma maxed out. What can we raise here? I think I want to go with that. Go 8 strength, 15 dex, 14 con, 10 int, 10 wisdom, 10 charisma. Kind of min-maxing. Makes more sense to do in a video game than it does in tabletop. Let's see what that puts our scores over here as. We're picking Dex and Wisdom. Let's switch that Wisdom over to Con and see what happens over here. I think I like that. No negatives and a few decent scores. All right, last one. Next, we
Tell
have
me.
our love interest.
Who do you dream of at night?
The stone's less warm.
Hells, something.
A tidy slot.
Hells. Something just woke up down here.
Love interest. I'm tempted to go with a Geth.
A tidy slot, but no rune.
Just because of a warlock, you know, aberration, unnatural, whatever. But I don't like any of their faces. Wow, I almost like that as is. I think we're gonna go tiefling with our love interest. Gonna keep voice 2. Take a closer look at this head. Check out our horn options. Interesting. So far I like 11 and 1. I think I'll go with 1. It's kind of iconic. Maybe we'll give her white eyes? Nope. I always keep looking at the wrong thing. Skin tone. Try and get a good something based off of red. That's all I can really say. Go with 6. It's kind of rich, but not too deep. Should everybody looks for in a lover, right? Interesting eyes. Or dead eyes. Does that say dead eye? No. Okay. I think it should. I mean, look. There's like I do have to say I am digging this track as background. Just don't know what I want to do with her eyes. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Hairstyle. She looks like a froofy hair type, right? We'll pass on the dreads. Oh, you don't have as many options, huh? I was not aware of that. Maybe 3? Not really feeling 4. Or 5. Or 6. 7. 8, maybe. That just doesn't work with her horns for some reason. That one's okay. I think I do prefer 3 to it, though. So 3, 8, I mean maybe 9? Let me go with 3. We'll skip on her facial hair too. Tattoo. I can see her with a little face ink, maybe. No, 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 no. That tattoo is for a specific order in Pharaoh, and I can never remember who it is. So if anything, I think that would be the only ink I would want on her. Something simple. Let's see about her makeup. One is good. Subtle. Good differences. Thinking it's 1 or 3 right now. We'll go with 1. Keep it black. I kind of like it. And there we go. That is it for character creation. We're going to go ahead and end the video here. There's a cutscene after this. which I'm not going to add in, and we will continue our playthrough on the next video. Thanks for coming and watching. Do the, thumbs and hits and bells and all that good stuff. Not really. Do it if you want, if it's convenient. Check the description for more information. Meanwhile, have a great night.